Hey, everybody. Yesterday, Drew Brees made comments on an interview regarding NFL players kneeling during the anthem and said that when he thinks of the Colin Kaepernick slash NFL
When he thinks of the Colin Kaepernick slash
NFL slash national anthem controversy, he immediately thinks of his grandfather who served in World War II. And he went on to say essentially that it is disrespectful to do anything other than salute the flag as a sign of unity, when quite obviously Brees didn't understand that, first of all, and above all, America is a democracy, and people died, in some cases, burning the flag to achieve, for example, the right to vote. And if you really think about it, for the creation of the United States of America as it stands under the Constitution. And others, like myself, read it in even another way, which is, hey, he's saying that my father and stepfather, who also fought in World War II, don't count, and that his grandfather is more American than my father and stepfather, because we disagree with certain public policies in the United States. Now, for me, I have never, ever criticized anyone's raison d'etre for not standing up and saluting the flag, even when I was doing so at NFL games, and I've always done so. But that's my own private Idaho. I don't, and I have never done it, going all the way back to 16 when I first went to NFL games, ever, and was first aware of people who just didn't want to stand. Because there have always been just grievances. So in all of my life, when given the chance, I have never denounced someone else's right or desire to not salute the flag. And in this situation in particular, regarding taking a knee, I strongly advocate it, because it's a symbol that we're not there. All right. Now, I'm not the only one who said that Drew Brees' comments were tone deaf. I just listened to Pat McAfee a little bit, and he had a great monologue about 15 minutes and 17 seconds long, about how Drew Brees, basically, to coin a phrase that would be used by the governor of California, missed the mark, missed the moment, okay? And I don't know if I've ever seen an NFL athlete who was so respected, not just for his play, but for his work off the field and helping his community, be so roundly criticized. A number of people said they were surprised by it. It didn't surprise me, because it came from the I need to help Black folks perspective. And there are a number of people who feel like they're not racist when they're giving to charities or setting up a charity to help African Americans who are poor. But all the time they really are, because subconsciously that's how they see us. And it comes out in different ways. In this case with Drew, it came out. We just never got a chance to see Drew in the pose that he provided for us during that interview. Well, thankfully, he is self-aware and loves people. And so he decided, and I'm glad he did, to enter an apology. And here's what he said right here. And I'll read it for you. He said, this is on Instagram. I would like to apologize to my friends, teammates, the city of New Orleans, the Black community, NFL community, and anyone I hurt with my comments yesterday. In speaking with some of you, it breaks my heart to know the pain I have caused. In an attempt to talk about respect, unity, and solidarity centered around the American flag and the national anthem, I made comments that were insensitive and completely missed the mark on the issues we are facing right now as a country. They lacked awareness and any type of compassion or empathy. Instead, these words have become divisive and hurtful and have misled people into believing that somehow I am an enemy. This could not be further from the truth and is not an accurate reflection of my heart or my character. This is where I stand. I stand with the Black community in the fight against systemic racial injustice and police brutality, and support the creation of real policy change that will make a difference. I condemn the years of oppression that have taken place throughout our Black communities, and still exist today. I acknowledge that we as Americans, including myself, have not done enough to fight for that equality or to truly understand the struggles and plight of the Black community. I recognize that I am a part of the solution and can be a leader for the Black community in this movement. I will never know what it's like to be a Black man or to raise Black children in America, but I will work every day to put myself in those shoes and fight for what is right. I always have been an ally, never an enemy. I am sick about the way my comments were perceived yesterday, but I take full responsibility and accountability. I recognize that I should do less talking and more listening. And when the Black community is talking about their pain, we all need to listen. For that, I'm very sorry, and I ask for your forgiveness. And Todd Durkin wrote, "From the heart, there is none who loves his city, every single teammate, his team, and this country more than Drew. Drew has done things the right way throughout his entire career and will continue to do so. Peace, love, looking inside, lots of prayer, and yes, forgiveness are the answers. We must all continue to go deeper, get better, and be the solution. Thanks, DB, for being you. Let's all do our part today to make the world a better place." And I can't say, I can't, there's a number of comments here, and 270,879 likes, including that last one was mine. Drew Brees came through at the right time. He did a course correction at the right time, and he said what needed to be said at the right time, and that's the sign of a leader with the heart of a champion. And so I have to say that it's a demonstration of how great this time is, because look, none of us is perfect in any way, but the best thing that we can do, and I think Drew's post was an example of that, is acknowledge that other people are hurting, empathy, and then seek reconciliation, which means change within, and then ask for forgiveness, and then alter your course. He did those four things. Now, there's no book on that. I'm just saying, other than mine, but I'm saying that's what he did. And so it leaves you with no choice but to say, thank you. Thank you. There's going to be a lot of this. Because I pointed yesterday to Mark Davis's statements, which I felt were kind of tone deaf. Not quite sure why we got here, was more focused on the looting than the message regarding the need to get rid of racism, didn't even talk about the need to get rid of racism at all. That's bothersome. Yet there are those who will say, well, he said something, so that was enough. No. We're at the point now where words matter. It used to be sticks and stones can break my bones, words will never hurt me. Well, that's technically true. But words do drive, as you've seen. Words can drive social media campaigns. Words can drive people to change their minds. Words can heal, and words can emotionally hurt. So words are very important. And words spoken via video are even more important. All right. So anyway, I think this is a great start. For now, Drew Brees gained his starting job back from Jameis Winston. And I think we can all move forward. And I want to look at some more of these comments that were on on what he said, and that came below. Let's put that screen up again and have a look at that, and see what people were writing. And we just got Todd Durkin, and then Iglio says, you can love the flag, but you can't ignore the history. Perfect harmony soon. And says, I'm a black male, grew up in NOLA, graduated from Lusher Charter School. I've been blessed enough to see and talk with Drew Brees on a personal level. I built close relationships with people who've been around and competed with Drew in high school. And like the rest of us, I've been able to see him in his celebrity form. So with all that said, I feel my opinion is just a little bit more credible and a little less based upon perceptions given to me by media. I feel my view of Drew isn't based upon one movement or one statement, but rather that the 10 plus years I've been able to see and observe Drew on and off camera. With that said, I am not here to excuse his statement and stance on kneeling at the flag, but I'm here to say there's no way you can reasonably say that this man is a racist because of his statement on the flag. There is no way you can reasonably say that he is against the protests sparked by George Floyd. Drew Brees is always the first athlete to step up and help in New Orleans. His kind acts, civil change, and his money spent has affected my life for the better, along with many others I went to school with and countless more. Drew Brees and the entire other Brees family have been consistently providing help for any and every good fight they could find in the city of New Orleans. So I can't sit back and let the media and a rightful angry black community crucify Drew for a stigma that he doesn't deserve. Also, shame on the media. You asked the man a question about the flag, but then play the statement as if he was asked about Floyd's murder. Lastly, shame on anyone to caught up in emotion that they cannot distinguish between a statement about the flag and stance on police brutality. And that shame is blasphemous if it results in placing the, quote, racist label, unquote, on someone who has consistently done so much in so many ways. That is wrong. Y'all are demonizing a good man. Y'all are attacking a friend. Y'all are giving hate to someone who has been committed to loving our city. But I, a black male that's hurt like the rest of us, won't allow my anger to taint my judgment and erase my memory. You know, I understand what this person is saying, but I have to respond that, look, there are a number of people I know whose names I'm not going to drop, who are also very prominent, who say, I'm not racist because I help black people blank. Look, that means that that person views them here and that somebody else who's black is essentially there. So they are here, the black person is there. And so it calls into question if they're going to look at that black person as a person who's an expert in their field, who is the person who should be appropriately hired to do a job as an expert. In other words, while they're very quick to give money to as a solve against physical racism, okay, which is what was expressed in what was done to George Floyd, they are less likely to give action to eliminate institutional racism. So it is really justified to call out Drew for what he said, because it points to a subconscious desire to maintain institutional racism that appears within him. And so, and this is common. It even goes back to people who will say, if someone says Black Lives Matter, they'll say, oh, all lives matter. Well, we're not saying all lives don't matter. And we're not saying white lives don't matter. No. But why is it hard for someone to just say Black Lives Matter in the context of a discussion regarding something bad has happened to someone African American that has ignited the community and Black Lives Matter leaders, as well as Black Lives Matter sympathizers, followers, people who've been affected by it, everything else. If a person's going to take that position in the middle of all that, then it's just to call that person's intent in the question and say, hey, look, it looks like you're being racist, you know? So I disagree with that wholeheartedly. All right. Subscribe to Zennie62 on YouTube, bookmark oaklandnewsnow.com. We'll be back later. Thanks.